Good morning, friends. Welcome to episode 74 of the Make Saints podcast. I'm Drew Downs, and this one is called Revelation, as in the book of Revelation, the most misunderstood and abused book of the Bible. Now, if you are dealing with some post-traumatic church syndrome, go ahead and skip this one. But before you do, please hear this. People abuse the text to abuse you. And so if you are feeling that way, that you have been abused and it's too hard to even talk about right now, come back to it later. But know that people have abused you, and that is not okay. It's not okay. So, what is the thing here, right? Why do we get this so wrong? Well, Revelation is an anti-empire text, not a prediction of the end times. We get this one wrong. Its main focus is to help us live here now, like here in our world, whenever this is, wherever this is. You live here now, surrounded by political, economic, and social systems that exploit us. That's its purpose. So why do we get this so wrong? Well, the short answer is this. Most don't actually know how to read Revelation. It doesn't make the same kind of intuitive sense that other books of the Bible do. But the main reason is that we assume it's prediction over commentary. And it is commenting a lot about our world and how we live in it. Now, you might be asking, what about the violent end of the world imagery that fills the center of the book, the better part of the text? Well, yes, it can be a pretty scary text, and the visions themselves are not, shall we say, positive. But the question I would have is, do we struggle reading the Narnia books? Do we struggle seeing a lion as Jesus? Of course not, right? But we constantly read the images in Revelation as literal actions. We struggle to see the images themselves as, in fact, images, and that our response to them is to be imaginative, because we see these images and these images in our minds, and we use these images to better understand what we already know. What Revelation reveals more than anything is actually contrast. A contrast between the Lamb and the dragon, between Jesus and empire. We are being called here to follow a way that is good and rejects exploitation. And far too many Christians have been exploited by other Christians. And far too many have used this text to exploit other Christians or to exploit other people in general, because they think that's the way to get them to where they need to be. At the same time, many other Christians refuse to read this most radically affirming, hope-filled book in the Bible at all. We'd rather avoid dealing with this difficult imagery, and therefore throwing away what is gorgeous, beautiful, and affirming for us as we struggle with those very issues in our world. Those issues of exploitation and being abused and being hurt and being overwhelmed by systems that do not have love and generosity and support on their side, but have anger and violence and abuse as their primary motivators. Selfishness versus community. Hate versus love. This is the centerpiece. And as much as we find ourselves increasingly pushed into the way of the dragon, because that's how our world is working, we're doing that at the same time we're saying, oh, I can't read that book. It's too scary. Just turn off the literalism and turn up the imagination. Because then we can see how important it is to be reminded of the way we're called to walk. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.